right, where we left off from last time, I realized I never mentioned that we need to save your work. So I'm going to save this as the do nothing machine. All right. Currently we have the base, we have a slider, and now we need to create some of the other pieces. What we're going to start with, just like we did before, is we need to make a new component. This time I'm going to select my upper level. All right, and then I'm going to hit create, new component, and this one is going to be the handle. All right, now that we've created our new component, again, there are a couple ways we could do this. We could either make it connected to the geometry we have already or separate from it. Since I showed connecting it to our geometry for the slider, we're just going to do it a little separate this time to give you an idea of what I'm meaning. Okay, and we're going to use, let's see, which plane do we want this time? Or actually, we're just going to use the top surface of our base. So I'm going to pan, I'm clicking my scroll wheel and moving over a little bit so we have some space. And I'm just going to make this shape over on the side. We're going to create a rectangle. This rectangle is 200 millimeters in one direction and 18 millimeters in the other. Okay, so we have this long rectangle. All right, and then we're going to have 3 different circles, which there's a couple ways we're going to do this, but I'm just going to make my life easier. I'm moving my cursor up to the end so that it's centered, and this circle, well, we'll show another constraint in a second then. So centered, one kind of down here, and then one kind of down here. Okay, I'm going to dimension one of these, and only one. Oops, if it's letting me select. Come on, there it goes. To be 8 millimeters. All right, and then I'm going to use my equals constraint to make my other circles the same size. There we go. And our dimension, we do need to measure between the center of this circle and the side. So I'm going to click the center and the edge. This distance needs to be 10 millimeters. All right, and then down here, our last little circle to the end needs to be 12 millimeters. And then in between these two circles is going to be 75. Oh goodness, that did not work out. We're going to double click and edit that 75. For real this time. Okay. So now we have the handle shape. We're going to finish the sketch. Good news for this one is it is literally just an extrusion. So we're going to extrude. We're going to choose the rectangle, excluding the circle so it leaves holes in it. And this is extruded to 6 millimeters. And that's it. There's your handle. All right. 2 more shapes. Our next shape is a handle pin. We need to come back and create another component. I'm going to unselect the parent, reselect the entire thing, and hit OK. I forgot to name it, so we're coming back to properties. And waiting for it to load. Here we go. Handle pin. Handle pin and close. And my battery is getting dangerously close to dying, so we will see how this goes. Okay, we're going to create a sketch. There's a few ways we could do this. This is like a cylindrical piece. We could do a revolve. We could do extrusions. It depends on what your preference is. Both are fairly quick. So I'm going to show just an extruded version of it for this one. And then when we do the other pin, I'll show a revolve version. So right now we have handle pin. We're going to do an extruded version. So somewhere out on the side at this point, we'll just continue to do that. We have an 8 millimeter circle. We're going to finish the sketch. Like I mentioned, this is just an extruded version of this piece. We do want this to be the other way. and this is going to be 6 millimeters. We're going to start another sketch. Now on top, our little circle here, make another circle, starting in the center. It's a 14 millimeter in diameter circle. We finish that sketch. We extrude both. So you got to click on both, and it's a 25 millimeter extrusion. All right, then we need to, instead of filleting, we need to chamfer this. Click chamfer, click on the edge, and this needs to be a 2 millimeter chamfer. That's equidistant or 45 degrees. That one's done. So again, like I said, an extruded version is very quick, so is the revolve version. Do what your preference is. Do what you're more comfortable with. All right, create new component, our last component. Our parent needs to be our do nothing machine. We're gonna name it this time before I cancel things. This is the slider pin. All right, we're gonna hit OK. All right, this one we're gonna do a revolved version. So I'm gonna start a sketch, and I wanna do one of our vertical planes. So we're just gonna pick our front. All right, I'm just again moving this over to the side a little bit, and we're gonna do a revolved version. So I'm gonna do the line tool. Actually, I need to zoom in a little bit to make my life a little easier, and create this half shape. Okay, it's almost like half of a T. Uh-oh. Okay, hopefully we'll finish this before my computer dies. And we'll go from there. Okay, this line at the bottom is going to be a 4 millimeter. So this is going to be the radius. All right, it's a 14 millimeter diameter. So this is 7. If you want to, you could do math in here. If we wanted to do divided by 2, we could. It's 7. All right. We know that the entire height needs to be from the top to the bottom. This needs to be 29. Oops, it did not take. Let me double click and change that, 29. All right. And then this inner line here needs to be 25. All right, we finished. We revolve. The profile is already selected since it's the only one. The axis is the center line. We need it to go all the way around, 360 degrees. And we're almost done. We do need to chamfer the top. Again, a 2 millimeter chamfer. And that part's done. All right, we're gonna zoom back out. We're gonna go to our home computer so we can see everything. We're going to select our top component, and we're gonna reactivate all of them so we can see. If you notice, we can drag all of these around except for our base. So like I said, that needed to be grounded. If you haven't done so yet, make sure to right click and ground it. But at this point, especially since my computer's gonna die, and these are all of our pieces, we are gonna finish here for now. Make sure to save what you're doing. We're gonna keep our description as is, and I'll see you in the next one.